The Miami Dolphins are at a crossroads, no question about it. The all-in approach they've embraced, trading picks like candy at a parade and loading up on veteran talent, has delivered moments of excitement, sure, but let's be real, it hasn't brought them any closer to the promised land of the NFL elite. The question now is whether they can course-correct before it's too late. Look at what's happening around the league. The Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles, two teams that have been mainstays at the top, just proved yet again why the draft and develop strategy is the gold standard. These aren't squads cobbled together with flashy free agents or desperate trades. They're teams built on the backs of homegrown talent, players molded into stars under their own roof. They've built dynasties, while Miami's been out here trying to build a house of cards. Take the Eagles, for example. Sure, they've brought in heavy hitters like A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley, but that's not the backbone of their success. When you look at their starters, 14 of them came straight from their own draft classes. Think about that. Sunday after Sunday, they're rolling out a lineup packed with players who've been in their system since day one. Their scouting department is hitting bullseyes on the regular. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, and a string of other draft picks have grown into cornerstones. Meanwhile, the Dolphins are out here trying to patch holes with duct tape. It's not sustainable. Then there's the Chiefs, the model of consistency. Patrick Mahomes is the face of the franchise and arguably the face of the NFL, but he's not doing it solo. Kansas City's front office is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Their 2022 draft haul? A masterclass. They took the picks they got from sending Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins and flipped them into players like Trent McDuffie, Isaiah Pacheco, and George Karlaftis. That's not luck, that's execution. The result? 5 starters from that draft alone played critical roles in their latest playoff victory. Contrast that with the Dolphins, who came out of the same draft with Channing Tindall, Eric Ezukanma, Cameron Good, and Skylar Thompson. None of those guys are moving the needle. And let's talk about the why. Why are the Dolphins stuck in this cycle? It's because they've sold the farm for short-term gains. Tyreek Hill? Amazing player, but the cost, 2 first-round picks and then some, was steep. Bradley Chubb? Another splashy acquisition, but at the price of a first-rounder. Jalen Ramsey? Same story. These moves don't come cheap, and they leave the team with little room to breathe. The draft picks they do have haven't delivered enough to make up for the ones they've sacrificed. That's a problem. Look at the 2020 draft. That was supposed to be Miami's chance to lay the foundation. They had 10 picks, including 5 in the first 2 rounds. Yet, 5 years later, what do they have to show for it? Tua Tagovailoa and Austin Jackson are still on the roster, but both come with question marks. Injuries have plagued Tua, and while Austin Jackson has improved, he's not exactly a cornerstone tackle. The rest of that draft class? Either gone or failed to live up to expectations. Noah Igbenegene was a complete miss. Raekwon Davis showed flashes but couldn't sustain it. The Dolphins had the opportunity to set themselves up for long-term success, and they fumbled it. The 2021 draft was better. Jalen Waddle, Jaylon Phillips, and Jevon Holland are absolute studs. But it's not enough. Liam Eichenberg, who they essentially spent 2 picks to get. A liability. And Hunter Long? His main value ended up being as a trade chip in the Ramsey deal. For every hit, there are too many misses. And this is where it catches up with them. Fast forward to 2023, and you've got a team desperate for impact players but strapped for resources. 4 picks in that draft. 4. Cam Smith, Devon Achane, Elijah Higgins, Ryan Hayes. Of those, Achane is the only one who's shown real potential, and even that's in a limited role. This isn't how you build a contender. You can't keep leaning on free agents and trades to bail you out. Eventually, the bill comes due, and the Dolphins are finding that out the hard way. So here we are, staring down the 2025 draft. The Dolphins have 7 picks as of now, with more compensatory picks likely coming. This is a critical moment. A do-or-die moment for Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel. They're heading into what could very well be a make-or-break season. Do they keep doubling down on this all-in strategy, throwing picks around like confetti to chase another star? Or do they take a hard look in the mirror and realize it's time to start playing the long game?